Part 54. Sky Coffin. Author, Qing Nian Wanbao. Chapter 531. The moment Ziwei appeared, the ghost emperor in the soul of Taishan looked surprised and shouted at me in surprise, You are the reincarnation of Emperor Ziwei. Ziwei's luck is so pure. Hearing this sentence, I was slightly startled. Am I not the reincarnation of Yun Ziazi? How did he become Emperor Ziwei now? My life experience is becoming more and more confusing. The moment the fate of Ziwei enveloped the soul of Mount Tai, the sound of ghosts crying and wolves howling suddenly stopped. And the aura exuded by the ghost emperor also decreased a lot. Boy, you suppressed us this time, but it won't be that simple next time. The ghost emperor's voice came again. I can suppress you once, and I can suppress you a second time. Having said that, the crepe myrtle luck in my body skyrocketed, and the soul of Taishan was also getting smaller at a speed visible to the naked eye. At this critical moment, a black shadow flashed past my eyes, heading straight towards the soul of Mount Tai. I saw the dark figure coming to the side of the soul of Mount Tai. With a wave of his sleeve, the endless crepe myrtle luck was absorbed into his sleeve. And I also saw clearly the appearance of the person coming. Zhao Mian. Zhao Mian turned around, and what caught my eye was the bronze evil ghost mask he was wearing. He smiled and said, Your Majesty, I didn't expect that you actually solved the 5 great immortal families. However, your ability to deal with the 5 great immortal families is inseparable from Tian Coffin's suppression of their Taoism. Otherwise, with your strength, how can you destroy them? Zhao Mian's tone was full of disdain. Most of Ziwei's luck was taken away by Zhao Mian. Fortunately, the evil ghost in the soul of Mount Tai was suppressed. I stretched out my hand and called back the soul of Mount Tai. I looked at Zhao Mian coldly and asked word for word, What do you want to do? Zhao Mian shrugged helplessly and said casually, What to do? Of course, release all the demons. At the same time, a powerful demonic energy burst out from the direction of the main hall. Immediately afterwards, a man in black robes accompanied by a demonic wind appeared in front of me. The man's sharp eyebrows and starry eyes reveal an aura of dominion over the world. I have never seen this man before, but I feel a familiar aura on him. Dragon. My expression became serious. Things turned out to be the worst. The dragon was born successfully. Xiaolong glanced at me lightly and said nothing. He turned around, looked at Zhao Mian, and asked, Have you got the things? Zhao Mian nodded and said, Of course, I have already said that he will definitely use the soul of Mount Tai when dealing with the 5 great immortal families. When I heard this sentence, I was stunned for a moment, and then I understood everything. Everything that just happened was part of Zhao Mian's plan. In order to deal with the 5 great immortal families, I can only use the soul of Mount Tai to suppress them. And Zhao Mian also knew that the ghosts in the soul of Mount Tai would also take this opportunity to rise up. I can only use Ziwei Qi luck to suppress it. And Zhao Mian and Xiaolong's goal is Ziwei's luck. Xiaolong turned around, looked at me, raised a sneer at the corner of his mouth, and said, Lu Su, as a descendant of the Lu family, you can force me to this point, and you are also powerful. But you can't stop me now. Xiaolong turned around and said to Zhao Mian, Let's do it. Zhao Mian nodded and released the crepe myrtle luck from his cuffs. The luck of Ziwei gathered into a large cloud in mid-air, and then floated towards the sky. The dragon roared, and a dazzling golden light erupted from its body. Then, a beast-like roar rang through my ears. A huge dragon appeared in front of me. Sky Coffin. Author, Qing Nian Wanbao. Chapter 532. The dragon is transparent and dark, and its body is huge, giving people an extremely ominous feeling. Roar. The dragon let out a roar that resounded throughout the world. Then he swung his huge body into the air and flew towards Ziwei Luck. Seeing this scene, Lu Hangxuan couldn't help but say, it wants to use the luck of crepe myrtle to transform into a dragon. Hearing these words, I opened the Nine Eyes realm without any hesitation. It just so happened that the extreme distance of the Nine Eyes heaven realm could touch the dragon's tail. I didn't hesitate to use the ability of the Nine Eyes heaven realm. I disappeared from the place in an instant. When I reappeared, I was already in the huge body of the dragon. The howling wind made me unable to open my eyes. Below him is an abyss. If he is not careful, he will fall, and he will definitely be shattered into pieces when the time comes. When Lu Hangxuan saw this, she also turned into a ray of white light and disappeared into my body. The moment all the golden light fell into the center of his eyebrows, Lu Hangxuan's voice rang in his ears. You can't stop him in your current situation. I will lend you my power. If you can't stop him, you can only use that method. As soon as Lu Hangxuan finished speaking, my body changed. The pupils that originally belonged to humans slowly disappeared, replaced by snake eyes, and the skin on the body was also covered with white scales. It's like wearing a piece of silver white armor. The originally weak body also recovered at this moment. Thanks. I stretched out my hand, picked up the dragon's scales and crawled towards the dragon's head. Xiaolong felt my presence and began to swing his body crazily. The huge force threw me away several times. I could only stop climbing tightly and hold onto the dragon's scales tightly. But Xiaolong had no intention of stopping. When I saw this, my expression condensed, and I used Nine Eyes Heavenly Domain again. The space formed by the black barrier enveloped most of Xiaolong and me. I stretched out my hand, and the roaring wind in my ears suddenly stopped, and the air stopped flowing. With Lu Hangxuan's power, I can now expand the scope of the Nine Eyes Heaven realm to the maximum. I used the Nine Eyes Heaven realm to envelop the dragon. In this way, even if I accidentally fall down, I can still return to the dragon's body through the Nine Eyes Heaven realm. I summoned the secret urn of heaven and drew the wooden talisman. The golden light emitted by the heavenly secret barrel slowly disappeared and was replaced by cyan light. I picked up the sword Ju and pointed at the wooden talisman. Huge vines spread out from the talisman, and then bound the dragon's huge body at an extremely fast speed. The dragon stopped flying and stayed in mid-air. Lu Su, do you think this can stop me? The dragon's sound like a bell exploded in my ears. As soon as he finished speaking, the huge dragon body emitted a frightening demonic power. After destroying all the wooden talismans that bound him, Xiaolong resumed his actions again, and he continued to fly towards Ziwei Luck not far away. I took a deep breath and once again summoned 5 blank heavenly secrets to float around me. I spread my hands, and 4 heavenly secrets shot through the air in the directions of southeast, northwest, and one stayed above my head. I drew the 5 thunder talisman and planned to perform the 5 thunder dharma. 5 thunder Genfa in the practice of internal strength, the 5 thunders belong to the 5 internal organs. Only when the chi of the 5 internal organs gathers and converges into one can one reach the great road and master the magical effects of the 5 thunders. The 5 thunder talisman, when combined with my 9 layers of thunder Ju, can completely unleash the powerful 5 thunder method. With a thought, the heavenly secret barrier emitted light blue light, and then lightning burst out from the heavenly secret barrier. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Sky Coffin. Author, Qing Nian Wanba. Chapter 533. Lightning was directed towards the thunder talisman above my head. I quickly picked up the 9-layer thunder technique and borrowed Lu Hangxuan's power to superimpose the number of thunder techniques to 5 layers. Boom! Thunder pythons as thick as buckets flashed from all directions, and then spread toward me at extremely fast speeds. Finally, the thunder talisman above my head and the thunder Ju in my hand came together. Through the addition of thunder talisman, I feel that my whole body is filled with a very violent power. The thunder python has changed its shape and transformed into a huge thunder dragon. Its size can be compared with the dragon under me. The appearance of the thunder dragon made the air tremble slightly. I raised my hand and the thunder dragon roared upward. At this moment, I feel like I am holding a huge blue dragon in my hand. After the dragon noticed this terrifying momentum, its huge dragon body shook even more violently, trying to take this opportunity to throw me off. Without any hesitation, I suddenly lowered my right hand, and the brontosaurus hovering in the sky descended rapidly with my movement. Boom! The thunder dragon slammed into the huge dragon body. My eyes were instantly filled with a burst of dazzling blue light. The powerful force of the thunder and lightning explosion sent me flying away. I began to fall rapidly from mid-air. Roar! The dragon roared, and the thunder and lightning dispersed. The dragon's hard scales were shattered by lightning, revealing the scarlet flesh inside. Seeing this, I used the ability of Nine Eyes Heaven Realm again, and returned to the dragon from mid-air. I landed firmly on the dragon, my feet were soft and no longer as hard as before. Boy! You forced me to do this. The dragon roared again, and then the world beneath him began to become restless. Countless black shadows flew rapidly toward the sky. I took a closer look and gasped for air. They turned out to be some flying monsters. Most of these monsters are birds that have become spirits. They gather together in a dense darkness, dyeing half of the sky darker and darker. I looked back at Zaiwei Luck not far away, but it was still some distance away. Just when I was about to use my method, Lu Hangxuan's voice came to my ears. Leave him to me and you deal with these flying monsters. Also, I'm going to teach you a spell. Don't use this method unless absolutely necessary. Besides, this is what Yun Ziazi told me. Later, Lu Hangxuan told me the spell. For a moment, a beam of white light slowly gathered in front of my eyes. This time, Lu Hangxuan's graceful figure did not appear, but instead a huge python. The python is completely white, and its white scales shine with dazzling white light, giving people an extremely holy feeling. Lu Hangxuan opened her bloody mouth and bit into the dragon without any hesitation. At the same time, the birds and monsters behind me had also arrived in front of me. I took a deep breath and summoned the Sea of Ghosts. Black condensed into shape, and a black sea appeared in front of my eyes. Because of the Nine Eyes Heaven Realm, the Sea of Ghosts and ghosts could be suspended in mid-air. As the scarlet blood of the soul-stealing bloody hand was injected into the Sea of Ghosts, the originally black sea of blood turned blood red. 49 ghost generals slowly emerged from the Sea of Blood. But this time, the Sea of Ghosts and ghosts made me feel something was wrong. Because, in the Nether Sea of Blood, I felt an extremely powerful yin qi. It was as if there was an extremely powerful ghost hiding in the Sea of Ghosts. Why didn't I feel it before? Sky Coffin. Author, Qing Nian Wanbao. Chapter 534. I tried to mobilize the power in the Ghost Sea. Originally I just had the mentality of giving it a try, but I never thought that I would actually mobilize that power. An archer riding a skeleton horse and holding a bow and arrow emerged from the Sea of Blood. Then came the second, third, fourth. Seeing this scene, I was stunned on the spot. There are more than 49 ghost generals hiding in the Ghost Sea. And archers. Could it be that there is an entire ancient army hidden in the Sea of Ghosts? And with my current strength, I can only summon these? I took a breath of cold air. As long as I am strong enough, can I have a yin soldier of my own? 12 archers emerged from the Sea of Ghosts. They drew their bows and fired arrows. Their sharp bones shot through the air, directly knocking down the monsters flying towards me. I tried to continue summoning the yin soldiers hidden in the Sea of Ghosts, but no matter what I did, I couldn't summon them again. It seems that with my current strength, I can only summon these yin soldiers. With the help of these yin soldiers, those monsters were quickly isolated. At this moment, the huge body of the dragon beneath him kept shaking. I quickly stabilized my body, turned around and looked around. I don't know when Lu Hangxuan's huge snake body had restrained the dragon. The dragon and the white python are fighting fiercely. The two are evenly matched. If I hadn't severely damaged Xiaolong before, I'm afraid Lu Hangxuan wouldn't be his opponent. I must find a way to help Lu Hangxuan. Because the dragon was about to rush into the clouds transformed by the luck of Ziwei. I summoned the heavenly secret and drew the azure dragon talisman. Cyan light burst out from the talisman, and then, a giant dragon burst out of the talisman. The dragon's entire body is illusory, emitting a dazzling cyan light. The green dragon let out a roar that echoed throughout the world, hovering in the air. I picked up the sword technique and pointed it at the dragon. The green dragon roared and fought with the dragon. Using the four symbols talisman consumes a lot of money on me, and now I am at the point where I have run out of energy. However, I still gritted my teeth and persisted. Whether I can stop the dragon depends on this time. Under the attack of Qinglong and Lu Hangxuan, Xiaolong fell into a disadvantage. The dragon hovered in the air and stopped, its huge body covered with scarlet blood. Seeing that he could no longer hold on, Xiaolong shouted to Zhao Mian on the ground, "Zhao Mian! What are you waiting for?" I was slightly startled. Could it be that, Zhao Mian and this dragon had other methods? As soon as Xiaolong finished speaking, Lu Hangxuan's body emitted a dazzling white light. Immediately afterwards, I saw Lu Hangxuan's snake body began to crack, and the scarlet flesh was exposed to the air. I was shocked when I saw this scene. How is this going? How could Lu Hangxuan's body undergo such changes? It was as if something was trying to come out of her body. Ah! Lu Hangxuan's screams echoed in my ears. The next moment, I saw the scales on Lu Hangxuan's entire body began to fall off, and the bones were being pulled out one after another as their flesh and blood burst open. I quickly came to Lu Hangxuan. I stood on her huge snake head and asked anxiously, "What's wrong with you?" Lu Hangxuan's painful voice echoed in the air. He really tampered with that keel. I had already fused the dragon bone, and now that dragon bone is being withdrawn from my body. Lu Hangxuan wanted to continue saying something, but an extremely terrifying picture appeared in front of my eyes. Sky Coffin. Author, Qing Nian Wanbao. Chapter 535. Lu Hangxuan's huge snake head began to slowly crack, and her eyes and nose were cracking at a speed visible to the naked eye. Blood splattered on my face, very hot. A huge skeleton fell off from Lu Hangxuan's flesh and blood and floated in mid-air. I quickly squatted down, stretched out my hand, and gently placed it on Lu Hangxuan's body. "Hurry up! Come back into me. As long as the soul is still there, Lu Hangxuan will not die. It's just flesh, I'll just snatch it back later." As soon as I finished speaking, a beam of white light sank into my eyebrows. I quickly asked, "Lu Hangxuan, how are you?" Lu Hangxuan's weak voice rang in my ears. I'm okay. I noticed something was wrong as early as I entered here, but I didn't expect that I would fall into his trap. At this time, I suddenly remembered that when Lu Hangxuan and I first entered the palace, she looked very weak. It turns out that the problem arises here. At this moment, there was a surge of anger in my heart. This Zhao Mian is really vicious, and proficient in calculations. It is estimated that when Lu Hangxuan devoured the dragon bone, he tampered with the dragon bone. "Don't worry, I will give you a new body." Lu Hangxuan was silent for a while, and then said, "Lu Su, the dragon bone has been removed. The dragon will also use this dragon bone to successfully transform into a dragon. You should find a way to leave here, don't take risks for me." Lu Hangxuan's tone was full of worry. I looked around and saw that Qinglong had also been bitten by the dragon, and Lu Hangxuan's body had fallen from the sky. Now, The dragon and the dragon bone are attacking towards the crepe myrtle mist. No. You are my friend, Lu Su. I am your disciple. How could I watch you suffer such humiliation? Lu Hangxuan's weak voice sounded again. But, there's nothing wrong with it. Didn't you just teach me a trump card? I have to make this dragon pay the price. At this time, the dragon rushed into the purple mist. I had no intention of leaving. I sat cross-legged on the dragon's body and closed my eyes. I began to silently recite the mantra Lu Hangxuan had just given me. The spell Lu Hangxuan just told me is called the Ziwei God Inviting Curse. You can invite the gods from the heavens by consuming your own luck and destiny. Fate does not only exist in one person. In the long history, there are countless destiny cycles. The Ziwei God Inviting spell can invite the great gods of the heavens who have the fate of Ziwei. Of course, you can also invite gods who are entangled with Ziwei's fate. This kind of mantra for praying to gods puts a huge burden on the body. Because, he will consume my own crepe myrtle luck. The dissipation of luck is not so easy to make up for. I might even die from it. No matter, I can't control that much now, I must avenge Lu Hangxuan and let out a bad breath. As I began to recite the Ziwei God Inviting mantra, the stars in the entire night sky shone with dazzling light. At the same time, the dragon also began the process of transforming into a dragon, and the keel began to slowly merge with the dragon. At this moment, an extremely majestic voice sounded in my mind. Who is it? Called me here. I was slightly startled and asked quickly, don't you know it's the great immortal? It seems that a great immortal has been summoned by me. The man was silent for a moment and said, I am Wei Zheng. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Sky Coffin. Author, Qing Nian Wanba. Chapter 536. Hearing this sentence, I was stunned on the spot. Wei Zheng. It is said that among the 24 heroes of Linjian Pavilion, 3 of them were awarded the title of God, Qin Kaiyan, Yu Qigong, and Li Zheng. There is no legend that Wei Zheng canonized a god, but it is said that Wei Zheng had a part-time job in heaven as a human Kogwan, that is, the messenger of heaven in the human world, which is equivalent to the status of a god. Among them, Wei Zheng sleepwalked and killed the Jinghe Dragon King, which was even more popular among the people. Who are you? Why did you call me here? Wei Zheng's bell-like voice rang in my ears. I quickly said, young man, Lu Su wants to use Lord Wei's power to kill this evil dragon. When I said this, I felt a little scared. You can invite God, but whether God can help you is another matter. I don't have any contact with Wei Zheng, so it's difficult to get him to help me. Evil dragon. Wei Zheng's doubtful voice sounded in my head. After a moment, Wei Zheng said in surprise, it turns out to be him. I was slightly stunned. Could it be that Wei Zheng knew Jiaolong? Wei Zheng let out a long sigh and said, it's really the fate of the people. When will the injustice be repaid? After hearing this, I asked, Master Wei, do you know this dragon? Wei Zheng hummed and said, more than just knowing each other, he and I have a great connection. The dragon I once killed was him. What? Jiaolong is the legendary dragon king of Jinghe River. I was ordered to kill him at that time, but after his death, his soul remained immortal and he was reincarnated, and then became the demon king who caused trouble. Later, Yunziazi took action and killed him again. Unexpectedly, this evil beast is still alive in the world. It seems that Tiangong's calculations are good. The bad relationship between me and him has not been severed yet. Immediately afterwards, I felt a pair of eyes looking at me secretly. Wei Zheng exclaimed and said incredulously, it turns out that you are the reincarnation of that great god. If this is the case, then I will help you. The next moment, an extremely overbearing power filled my body. I slowly opened my eyes and felt that my whole temperament had undergone earth-shaking changes. My eyes flashed with golden light, and I looked at the dragon beneath me. The dragon's originally pitch-black scales now turned into a golden light, and its violent and ominous aura was slowly dissipating. What replaced it was supreme majesty. Wei Zheng's voice rang in my ears. This dragon has absorbed the demonic power of the 5 great immortal families, and it has now transformed into a dragon through 2 dragon bones. Even if I were to come in person, I would not be able to kill him easily. So, whether you can kill this dragon or not depends on you. As soon as Wei Zheng finished speaking, a long sword emitting golden light appeared in my hand. This sword is the sword of my heart that I used to kill him. The rest is up to you. Wei Zheng not only lent me his strength, but also gave me a sword of the heart. No matter what, I will kill this dragon. Xiaolong felt Wei Zheng's aura and shouted, Wei Zheng, after thousands of years, you still refuse to let me go. Why don't you come by yourself this time? You are hiding in the dark and cowering. What a shame. Wei Zheng did not answer Xiaolong. I looked at Xiaolong and said coldly, you killed innocent people and destroyed the balance between the 5 immortal families. You also want to release all the monsters. Today, I will do justice for heaven. I held the heart sword in my hand and struck hard at the dragon. A sharp sword energy shot through the air and directly cut through the dragon's huge body. Sky Coffin. Author, Qing Nian Wanbao. Chapter 537. Roar. The dragon let out a roar that resounded throughout the world. Then he began to shake his huge body. You forced me to do this. Xiaolong said fiercely. Then, a powerful demonic energy burst out from his body and shot straight into the sky. Then, the sound of something breaking suddenly came from the air. This voice comes from all directions in the west and is everywhere. I looked around, and the scene in front of me made my pupils tremble violently. I saw that the originally dark night sky had cracks like glass. The cracks started as scattered stars and eventually spread to the entire sky. One of them has the biggest crack. At the same time, roars of beasts came from the ground. I looked towards the ground and saw countless black shadows rushing towards the cracks. Seeing this scene, my expression became a little serious. Obviously, the dragon has broken the confinement of the sky coffin, and these monsters are frantically hitting the cracks. The huge body of the dragon was tumbling up and down in the clouds, trying to throw me down. It was precisely because of his action that Lu Hangxuan's snake body was thrown off. I had no choice but to kill this guy first, and then find a way to reshape Lu Hangxuan's body. Holding the golden heart sword in hand, I jumped up and stabbed the dragon in the head. The dragon was unable to dodge, and his huge dragon head was firmly pierced by the heart sword. Roar. The dragon once again let out a painful roar that resounded throughout the world. Then his whole body dived towards the ground. The strong wind cut my body like a knife. Several times I was about to be blown away by this huge gust of wind, and I could only hold tightly to the sword of my heart stuck in the dragon's head. The dragon was falling at an extremely fast speed, getting closer and closer to the ground. He wanted to knock me directly to the ground. After all, I am a human being and he is a dragon. Even if I have Wei Zheng's power, I can't make up for the frailty of being a human being. I unfolded the 9 Eyes Heaven Realm, and the pitch-black barrier instantly enveloped the entire dragon. This time, the 9 Eyes Heaven Realm expanded to a very large area, presumably because of the invitation to the god Wei Zheng. The dragon's rapidly falling body hit the barrier heavily and could no longer move forward. The dragon was circling and winding, walking in the air, and I was floating in the air. Of course, Wei Zheng lent me his strength in all of this. Xiaolong opened his huge eyes and stared at me, his eyes full of viciousness. Wei Zheng, Lu Su. One of you will kill me, and the other will imprison me in this place forever. As soon as Xiaolong finished speaking, the golden light on my body flashed, and a figure emerged from behind me. The man's whole body exuded a dazzling golden light, he had star-shaped eyebrows and sword-like eyes, and was wearing an official uniform. There was nothing but awe-inspiring righteousness between his eyebrows. Dragon King Jing-he, you changed the timing of rain without permission. This violates the laws of heaven and you should be punished. And now, you are committing evil crimes because of your resurrection, and you want to release all the demons imprisoned in the sky coffin. This is simply an unpardonable crime. Wei Zheng's voice resounded throughout the world, and his voice was very loud and filled with supreme majesty. Xiaolong let out an evil laugh and said, "So what? As long as I can be reborn, what does this mean?" Wei Zheng shook his head helplessly and said nothing more. I looked at the dragon coldly, without any hesitation, and rushed forward with my heart sword in hand. Sky Coffin. Author, Qing Nian Wanbao. Chapter 538. Because the dragon is trapped in the Nine Eyes Heaven realm, he cannot leave at all. I can only fight it here. The dragon twisted its body and drew its huge dragon tail towards me. All of a sudden, the strong wind howled, making my clothes rustle. When I saw that the dragon's tail was about to touch me, I suddenly raised the heart sword in my hand and swung it out with all my strength. The heart sword exuding golden light collided hard with the dragon tail covered with scales. The next moment, the heart sword cut off the dragon's tail directly, and the huge dragon's tail fell from the sky. I flashed and stepped onto the dragon's huge body again. Standing firm, I ran along the dragon's body in the direction of the dragon's head. The dragon suddenly turned around and bit me with its bloody mouth. I jumped up and easily dodged his attack. It was the dragon's behavior that allowed me to successfully jump on his head. I raised the heart sword in my hand and slashed hard at the dragon's neck. With a clang, the heart sword struck hard against the hard scales on the surface of the dragon. I tried hard with both hands, but the heart sword still couldn't sink even 1 inch. At this moment, Wei Zheng's voice sounded in my ears. The heart sword is born from the heart. This heart sword is not mine, but yours. I was slightly startled. I always thought that this heart sword was given to me by Wei Zheng. But now it seems not. How much power he can exert depends entirely on how strong your will is to kill this dragon. Wei Zheng's words were like a bright light illuminating my heart and enlightening me. I took a deep breath, condensed my expression, and clenched my heart sword. In an instant, the heart sword burst out with a dazzling golden light. The golden light illuminates the night sky, as dazzling as the sun. Looking at it, it seems as if there is really a sun hanging in the sky. The heart sword chopped the scales on the dragon's body into pieces, and then began to sink slowly. Scarlet blood slowly flowed along the heart sword. The screams of dragons filled the entire world. The dragon cannot be eliminated. Not only will I not be able to survive, but people in the 3 northeastern provinces and even the whole world will be threatened by him. I admit, Lu Su, don't have any lofty ambitions. But at this moment, I also want to work hard for myself and the people of the world. Lu Su, this is the second time you have killed me. The power of your left eye was given to you by me. You can't kill me. I raised a sneer at the corner of my mouth and said, this is my ability. How can I give it to you? The soul-stealing bloody hand, the nine-eyed heavenly domain, and the sea of ghosts and ghosts, these originally belonged to me. It was just taken away by the 9 evils in the sky coffin. Everything I did was to take back what was originally mine. My expression condensed, my hands tightened, and my heart sword sank again. Ah! Xiaolong couldn't help but howl miserably. Go to hell. I used all my strength, held the heart sword in my hand, and pressed hard on Xiaolong's neck. Scarlet blood spreads in the air, like blooming flowers. I just heard a puff, and the dragon's neck was cut off by me. The dragon's head and body separated, and both fell toward the ground. and I began to fall rapidly. Boom! The dragon's body and head hit the ground heavily, but I was protected by Wei Zheng and did not suffer any harm. I stood firm, panting heavily, and looked at Jialong's body. The dragon has lost all its vitality and lies across the mountains and rivers like a puddle of mud. At this moment, a burst of applause sounded in my ears. As expected of your majesty, you can kill a dragon thousands of meters in the air. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Sky Coffin. Author, Qing Nian Wanbao. Chapter 539. I turned around and saw Zhao Mian walking towards me wearing a devil mask. As he walked, he clapped. I looked at Zhao Mian warily. Zhao Mian waved his hand towards me and said, "Your Majesty, don't be so nervous. I won't do anything to you." I said coldly, "Your plan failed." "Oh? I don't think so. Zhao Mian is a huge mystery. No matter his life experience, or his style and purpose of doing things, people can't figure it out. And the strength is unfathomable. However, even if he becomes stronger, it is impossible for him to take action against me." This is what he said himself. Zhao Mian gave me a sinister laugh, then turned around and walked towards the darkness. "Your Majesty, you should think about how to solve the problem here. We will meet again." After that, Zhao Mian completely disappeared into the darkness and disappeared. I didn't chase him because I knew I was no match for him. Even now I have Wei Zheng to help me. I looked up at the sky and saw that the night sky was full of cracks, as if a glass cover was being broken from the inside. Just when I was thinking about what to do, Wei Zheng appeared in front of me. I cupped my hands at him and said respectfully, "Thank you, Mr. Wei, for your help." Wei Zheng looked at me with a smile, and then said, "No need to thank me, you know, ordinary people can't invite me." I looked at the sky coffin that was about to be broken, and blurted out, "Master Wei, I hope you can do this kid a favor." Wei Zheng waved his hand at me, sighed, and said, "I can't repair the sky coffin. If I want to repair the sky coffin, I can only rely on you." "Rely on me?" Wei Zheng nodded, stood with his hands behind his back, looked up at the sky, and said, "This sky coffin was made by Emperor Ziwei, and you are Emperor Ziwei. Only you can stop everything that happens here." I quickly asked, "What should the boy do?" Wei Zheng turned around, looked at me, and said word by word, "Use the luck of Ziwei to repair these cracks." I was slightly startled, then nodded. Wei Zheng looked at the body of Jialong not far away and said, "However, I can help you with another favor." I looked at Wei Zheng in confusion, and the latter smiled slightly and explained, "The Chang family's wife has a close relationship with you, and the karma between the two of you will continue. I will help her regain her physical body, but whether she can transform into a real dragon later depends on her." When I heard this, I was overjoyed. I quickly bowed deeply to Wei Zheng and said gratefully, "Thank you, Mr. Wei. Little things, little things." Then, Lu Hangxuan floated out of my body. The current Lu Hangxuan soul body is very unstable, and one can't help but suspect that even the breeze can blow it away. Lu Hangxuan weakly bowed to Wei Zheng. Wei Zheng nodded, then pointed at Jialong's body. The next moment, a dragon bone floated out from the dragon's body. Then, Wei Zheng placed the realization on Lu Hangxuan's body not far away. He stretched out his left hand and lifted up Lu Hangxuan's body. Lu Hangxuan's body and the dragon's keel floated in mid-air, and then slowly merged. The keel returned to Lu Hangxuan's body, and the originally damaged body was healing at a speed visible to the naked eye. "Tai Nai from the Chang family, you know what to do next, right?" Wei Zheng said to Lu Hangxuan. Lu Hangxuan nodded, turning into a white light and integrating into her body. Sky Coffin. Author, Qing Nian Wanbao. Chapter 540. After Wei Zheng finished doing this, he turned to look at me and said, "Boy, I'm leaving. You have to become stronger as soon as possible. The burden on your shoulders is simply too heavy." I raised my hands to Wei Zheng and said, "Thank you, Mr. Wei, for your help." Wei Zheng nodded, then turned into dots of starlight and disappeared into the night sky. I glanced at Lu Hangxuan. She was merging with her body. Now, I couldn't care about her anymore and quickly activated Zai Wei's luck. The lavender mist slowly diffused from my body and floated towards the night sky. Because I used the crepe myrtle god-seeking spell, most of my luck has been consumed. I don't know if the remaining crepe myrtle luck can still repair the sky coffin. With the emergence of Zai Wei's luck, my physical strength is also being drained. The luck of Zai Wei gathered more and more in the sky, and then got into those gaps. And those gaps are recovering at a speed visible to the naked eye. Seeing this scene, I felt happy. It seemed that what Wei Zheng said was indeed correct. The monsters that frantically hit the cracks were stunned when they saw the cracks being repaired. Then I looked around for the source of Zai Wei's luck, and finally found it in me. Their expressions began to become ferocious, and their eyes were full of viciousness. I secretly cried out. The next second, countless monsters came towards me like a tide from all directions. For a moment, angry roars resounded throughout the world. Seeing the demons getting closer and closer to me, a suffocating sense of oppression was also coming towards me. Just when 10,000 demons were about to engulf me, a beautiful figure stood in front of me. Just hearing a scream, a powerful demon force instantly knocked away all the demons. "Let's see who dares to step forward." Lu Hangxuan's cold voice reached my ears. 10,000 demons felt the demon power in Lu Hangxuan's body and stopped one by one. Lu Hangxuan's voice suddenly sounded in my mind. "How long will it take? I won't be able to scare these guys for long. There are countless thousand-year-old monsters in this world, so we'd better leave here as soon as possible." I looked at the cracks in the sky, and most of them had been repaired by Zai Wei's luck. I communicated with Lu Hangxuan with my thoughts. 1 minute. I just need a minute. Lu Hangxuan hummed, and then continued to confront the demons in front of her. At this moment, a sharp voice among the monsters shouted, "We can't let him repair the cracks. Otherwise we will never be able to leave here." As soon as these words came out, the demon group became restless again. The next moment, countless monsters were approaching me and Lu Hangxuan again. Helpless, Lu Hangxuan could only take action to meet the enemy. I looked at Lu Hangxuan and found that she was swaying in her steps. It seemed that she had not recovered from the injury just now. I quickly activated the Netherworld Ghost Sea. The darkness condensed into a pitch-black ocean, and then I heard a melodious horn sound coming from the Ghost Sea. Immediately, 49 ghost generals wearing armor emerged from the Sea of Blood, followed by the 10 archers. They fight with all the monsters. I took a deep breath and released all the luck of Zai Wei. Then, my legs felt weak and I fell directly to the ground. I shouted weakly to Lu Hangxuan, "Okay. We can go." Lu Hangxuan turned around and trotted towards me. Just when she was about to reach me, her body began to emit a dazzling white light. The white light dissipated, and a snow-white python appeared in front of me. Lu Hangxuan used the snake's head to lift me up high, and then placed it firmly on her forehead, and then she began to rush towards the palace.